guys? Welcome back to Relatable Nerds, and today we are going to get into a Superman discussion. Full spoilers ahead, just so you guys are aware. I am joined with Nick from Marvel Cinematic Universe News, and I think he's got quite the introduction. Oh, there we go.
Someone give me a phone booth right now.
I love it. I haven't seen anyone do that yet, you know? Like I feel like I expected the internet to do like more TikToks with like the white shirt and the Superman thing under it. Maybe just because he didn't do it in the movie yet. He
No,
probably
he did. Exactly.
right, which I classic move by Superman, but I get it. Like I didn't really think about it during the movie, but after I was like, oh, he didn't have the classic like ripping of the white dress shirt while he's at the Daily Planet, you know?
Well, we just have to recall for this one thing with James Gunn, when he decides to make Superman, he doesn't want to do an origin story. He just wants to make the movie, to be like moving forward, to everything. Because we don't need the origins of Spider-Man or Batman or Superman.
Right.
Just in the present, that's something that we are familiar of. Yeah.
Right. And honestly, going off of that, we can just jump right in because I do appreciate that because you don't have to start from square one with Superman or any superhero, any themed character from beginning. I feel like everybody kind of has the general consensus of what Superman is about, but obviously this is the beginning of the new DC universe with James Gunn as like the co-chair of DC. So obviously they had to lay down some groundwork, but I mean the beginning of this movie was like immediately they went for it. Like I didn't know how this movie was going to start because you have to question like going into it, like is he going to start with him in Smallville? Is it going to be like this little quick summary in the beginning of how he came to Earth, kind of like Man of Steel? But instead he just went for it and immediately started with Superman getting at the Fortress of Solitude, being injured, and they kind of just put some words on the screen just to like catch you up to speed. And I really like that because he just threw you into it, you know?
Just throw us in. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I just have a question for you, Kyra.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts and feelings, for this movie? Like to me, I just felt so deeply connected.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that I'm Superman, but it's just the humanity for what he's going through. Because he did so much, and people think of him as the bad guy. For going to another country, to save people, and proving him wrong that he is coming to Earth to conquer everyone. It's just no, he just wants to be a human being just for everyone. It's just that movie is just so it just has so much connection just by watching it.
Yeah, and James Gunn made one of the strongest man in the universe that we know of, right? And this like he made the strongest man, the most invincible man relatable. He brought him down to a human level where everybody watching could connect with him purely based off something everybody has the power to do in their everyday life, which is be kind. And especially be kind to others, to yourself, to your pets, to everybody around you, even your enemies, so to say, or somebody in your life you don't agree with. I mean, Superman, even in the face of Lex Luthor and all of his villains that he had to face and everything, he still embraced that kindness with everybody. He always tried to do things in a humanistic manner and not try to be just evil. He just had so much pure kindness to him in his soul, in his heart. And I mean, I just think back to when he saved the squirrel during that whole little downtown scene. And I'm like, if that just doesn't show you exactly what the Superman is like he zoomed in and it was just such a cool moment. But I think that's a great point to bring up that everybody, I feel like in the theater I was watching, was extremely connected to this Superman, to this character, to the cast, just because seeing that kindness exercised in every aspect of his life, whether he's at the Daily Planet, whether he's talking to his parents, whether he's talking to robots that literally don't even have the emotional capability of connecting like humans, he still treated everybody with the same respect and the same kindness. So, going
Even
off of that, I
a
just
monster
felt,
too. Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, even a monster too. Like he didn't want to kill it. He wanted to take it off to some galaxy zoo, somewhere.
Yeah, he never dealt with things in your cliche, just kind of like get over it way and just move on and just dispose of everything. Like you said, he wanted to help people and he always saw the good in people. no matter what, even, with Lex and his moments, and he's like, I hope you realize that you have the power to be kind. You have the power to change, your actions, and it's not over for you. He tried to do that with, gosh, I'm blanking on her character name, the engineer. He even tried to do it with the engineer, and there was just so many kind moments in the movie that definitely just honestly had me feeling like a little kid watching this movie, just full of hope, excitement for the future, for just leaving that theater and just wanting to be like Superman. I don't think I ever said those words in my life. And as a woman, especially in 2025, I'm like, wow, like there's finally a male on the screen who's kind to everybody and he's not I mean, he's very handsome, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot more to it that makes everything about this Superman just attractive in terms of his character and his demeanor.
And I have to agree. He just shows kindness to anyone. It doesn't matter if they're a villain or a monster or anything. He wants to be out there more. And I just have to. And here's what I want to know from you. Do you think that message was real from his parents that he's meant to do all of that? Because even though they said that the linguistics people confirmed that it's real, but it says heavily damaged. We don't know if that message is true for right now. But
Right. You know, I think it was cool that they left it open-ended because we didn't have like a concrete answer. But I think either way that you look at it, the way he handled it and the way he responded, he didn't let it define him, his past, which I think is just such an important message as well, that your past doesn't have to define you and your future actions and everything like that. Initially, I just thought it wasn't real. I don't know. Like, that's a good question. I feel like I don't think it's 100% correct. I do think there could be some truth in him trying to maybe conquer, but I don't think that it was as like evil and as they tried to make it.
what Lex and his team were dealing with this alien technology that they are not familiar with. They think that the engineer will be able to, to catch everything, but because she was like exposed to the technology, like it was taking control over her. So we just don't know just yet.
Just don't know. Yeah, I think we'll get more truth to that with the Supergirl movie.
All right, I
Because
cannot wait for that one, especially Jason Momoa as Lobo.
I know I've been so just infatuated with her as a character that like I haven't even let myself think far ahead with Jason Momoa in this movie, but that's gonna be incredible. He'll get a little bit of DC redemption, from the Aquaman saga. This would be a good like rebrand for him, but such a good casting for him as well. But I think with Supergirl we'll get a lot more answers with what happened. And I think we're gonna have to watch it through her perspective as well. So I think with that, maybe we'll get the actual message or we'll get some more clarity on what was actually said or what was, the purpose of sending him to Earth.
Yeah, we'll soon find out.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Holt, I love him as Beast in the X-Men movies. It's I love the movies, but oh my God, him as Lex Luthor, just
Incredible. Yes. Round of applause. So incredible. I mean, he somehow made this egomaniac, just conniving character have charisma. Like every time he was on the screen, like you just knew there was going to be a new gadget, a new move, just some crazy thing happening. And he just embraced that character so incredibly well. And I loved it. I loved his chemistry with Superman too. I thought they had some great chemistry.
this is what I want to see more. Like even though he's the guy behind the keyboards, but I want to see him in action. With the suit because we see the Raptors. I thought it was him, but no, it's just tons of men willing to do it. I'm like, how many Raptors does he have? But okay, even though there's no kryptonite on Earth just yet, I'm pretty sure it's still there. But once he finds it, he's gonna use that against him. Because that's how he does it. With the suit. That makes him stronger. But okay, once a sequel, if it happens, he needs to suit up. Have his own Robert Downey Jr. moment. Putting it on and just see him fight Superman. Either that or have some other villains, come along that we haven't seen on screen just yet. Like all I can think of is Brainiac or Bizarro.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good ones. I think we'll definitely see Lex in the suit because he's not done. This is just the beginning, right? And I feel like that'll be comic book accurate to see him in that suit against him. And I can't wait to see the growth of these characters because I feel like even in this point of Superman's story, even though it's not like his beginnings of everything, but I think it's just really the beginning. They're so young right now in this series, and there's just such a long future ahead for all of these characters. And I'm really excited to see the development of Lex and Clark's relationship, the new villains that he brings in, just the new plot lines that they're gonna do. I know we're gonna have to wait a very long time, but I feel like we'll get a Superman probably cameo or something in Supergirl and you kind of got to now. I mean, they kind of filmed them at the same time. I think Supergirl is done filming already, and it's gonna hit theaters. I think 2026.
Yes, it's confirmed that they finished filming, for the movie. So until next year, and we had that poster that recently came up. Look down.
I know. I'm so excited to see Supergirl. I know we're supposed to be talking about Superman, but her cameo at the end was so fun and so perfect and just amazing. She shows up hungover, drunk, just staring at him like, "Where's my dog?" And you see Krypto and her and their relationship, and it was just such a perfect touch because everybody's been talking about this casting. Everybody's been talking about this character when we're going to see her. Is it going to be a post credit? And it was like kind of post credity, but it was more towards the end of the movie. But I'm really excited for Supergirl, and that means we get more Krypto. So I'm twice as excited.
So do you think that when it comes to a movie, they're gonna be focused out in space, partying, or do you think that we'll see her back on Earth? Like we did see something of that behind the scene images where she's like on top of a tank or something. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's an alien tank or an Earth's tank, but we just don't know yet.
I feel like her story hasn't been done as much in like big movie presentations, right? Like TV shows, yes, and in comics, obviously, but I think we need more of her beginnings. And I think we need to do like a flashback to what happened to her because her life not started, but it was just so detrimental to her and it made her who she is just because she had to watch Krypton get destroyed. She couldn't do anything about it. She was sent to go protect her cousin and then got lost in translation or lost in space, whatever. And I think we need like at least part of that just to watch some of it, maybe like a flashback scene. I would rather get that versus this where we're kind of thrown into Superman's story. I think with her, we need to know why she is the way she is and how she just has this kind of sadness and she tries to hide it with drinking, obviously, and distracting herself. And I do want to see her in her Red Sun universe or whatever, where she is, just because I think it would be really funny. And I think it'll be hilarious to see her party and go on all her little adventures over there. But I definitely would like her to end up back in the Yellow Sun universe with her cousin.
We'll definitely see. All right, so we talked about Lex, Superman, Supergirl, and Krypto, but we got to talk about the other heroes. Like for one, Mr. Terrific.
Amazing. The MVP, nobody saw coming. Mr. Terrific was such a scene stealer. Every scene he was in, he was just so witty. His one-liners, he's so funny. He's so sarcastic. He's like, oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. Like calling Superman a wuss. Like, let's say, like all of these little things that he did was just so, it was
I
such a good
think that
piece
was
for
Guy
me.
Gardner that called him a wuss.
What? Oh
I think
yeah,
that was
Guy Gardner. But he called him some no when they were on the roof of that building and he was like, "Oh, super." I think it was with the big monster and he was like, "Oh, I wanted to do it in a more humanistic way." And he's like, "Come on, man." I know he called him something. I don't know if it was wuss, but he definitely called him something and he was just like, "Come on, or don't be such a softie or something like that, because he's like, "Let's just finish it." Because Mr. Terrific's his little spears ended up going inside the monster and kind of imploding it from the inside.
the way how he did it. It's just done perfectly. Like I've seen the other Mr. Terrific in the Arrowverse, but no,
Yeah.
Eddie Garthagi, he brought the character so well. And I love like his answer recently, how he says, like be a black nerdy, kid, just inspire, like to everyone,
Yeah.
let it all out. Like, this is okay. James Gunn, he casted the right people for this movie, especially Eddie Garthagi.
Yeah.
Also, you saw my post of the sketches I made of the Justice League. I mean, Justice Gang, right?
Right, Justice Gang, yeah.
We talked about him, but guess what? He viewed my story of the sketches.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats. That's amazing. No, he seems like such a cool guy. And like, I'm so excited for his career to take off as well. And I think if there's one thing I trust James Gunn with, it's obviously writing a good story, an entertaining story that's going to keep us invested the entire time. But his casting is amazing. Like, he
Oh,
just always has perfect casts.
yeah, especially bringing his best buddy Nathan Fillion as the Green Lantern. Oh,
Yes, Guy Gardner was so funny. The Justice Gang, the whole thing with the name, and just hilarious.
and Isabel Merced, I just love the way how she screams. From
That was actually her,
it is her. Yes,
which is crazy because those screams, like, they caught me off guard when I was watching, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like everybody in the theater was like, what the, because it was just such a crazy scream, But that's that feminine rage, man. We're suppressing it when she takes the Baravian president, and he's like, oh, you're like Superman, you're not gonna drop me, and she's like, oh, I'm not like Superman. She just lets
she
him go. Like, I love that moment. I think it was great. Guy Gardner was amazing. I think we have a Green Lantern show coming out as well.
interns.
Yeah, and there's just so much going on, but I'm really stoked on the casting. I'm really stoked with Mr. Terrific. I think it's so interesting how in DC sometimes they don't do people of color, like certain characters, justice. Like, I often think back to Cyborg and the Joss Whedon cut with Cyborg versus the Zack Snyder like extended cut. Like, a lot of these characters, they do not get the justice, ironically, justice that they deserve as a character. And with Mr. Terrific, he got the screen time he deserved. His character development was more than extraordinary and absolutely needed for this story. And I really like how James Gunn makes that an important part of all of his movies and everything that he does. And I just thought it was so well thought out, and it was just incredible because he was just a genius. He was a genius,
He
He
is
saved us.
a mad genius.
Yeah, and he
Just
just
like
saved.
said in the Suicide Squad trailer, a mad genius. That's what he is.
Yeah, and he just saved. I would love to get a Mr. Terrific origin story. I would love to get a show about him. I would love to see his beginnings and how he came to be, in the Justice Gang. And I think that's something they should definitely explore.
Well, we do know that he is in talks right now for a show, and it's confirmed that he has already signed multiple contracts to come back as Mr. Terrific.
Good. Oh yeah, he's gonna be around for a long time. I think this whole cast is gonna be around for a long time. I think, such an excellent start, a rebranding of the Green Lantern, just because that, again, hasn't been done as well as it could have been in the past. And I think it's just so cool that James Gunn is like taking these characters we've seen. Everyone's like, oh, we need another Superman. Do we really need one? Do we need another Green Lantern? And just changed everybody's minds because it's always possible to retell these stories. I mean, after all, that's what it is. Like, that's why people keep creating just to show their perspective of these interpretations of the comics. And there's just so many different comic book runs to go off of too. It's like almost infinite. So I think it's really cool how everybody's minds are kind of changing now about having another Superman, having another Green Lantern. Like, it's cool to see people excited about it again and not just, oh, DC sucks. Like, DC can't make a good movie. Like, the internet has always been saying that, which to a certain extent, the DC movies haven't been my favorite in the past. I don't love all of them, so it's just cool to see people's minds
Well,
change about
I
DC.
did have a top three for the DCEU. Number one is definitely the Snyder Cut. Two, it would definitely be the Suicide Squad, and three, the first Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. Yeah, those are my top.
Yes. Oof. Wonder Woman. I think she's being casted right now as well. So
And
that'll be
I wish they could bring back Gal Gadot. I thought she was just amazing, but
Gal Gadot, I think physically just embraced everything Wonder Woman is. She was just such perfect casting for it, but I think we can get somebody with better acting chops, to be completely honest. I did like her. I think her character could have been written better as well, especially in the sequel Wonder Woman. I think she could have had better moments in the Snyder Cut as well. But I think just like we have another Superman, I think it's okay that we're gonna get another Wonder Woman and James Gunn we trust. I think he's gonna have a great casting for that. I
And
have no idea. There's so many talks on the internet of who it should be.
people
Um,
are campaigning for a Latina Wonder Woman, and I have no problem with that. Like people want Isa,
Gonzalez.
whatever her last name is,
Is it
um,
Isaac Gonzalez?
Isa Gonzalez, Adria,
Arjona. I
uh,
love her.
and or Melissa Bear.
Yeah, those are all great. I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased in that realm for them picking a Latina Wonder Woman. I would love that. I think anybody they pick, any background, any ethnicity, it doesn't matter as long as it fits with everybody else and the chemistry is good. But I want Wonder Woman to be like a tall woman. You know what I'm saying? Like this is an Amazonian woman. As somebody who is 5'11". And everybody in Hollywood is kind of on the shorter side. I'm like, can we find a tall woman in this realm and just actually like cast it, correctly? But I'm really excited. I mean, it's so cool to talk about this stuff and be excited about DC again because it's like Wonder Woman wasn't that long ago. Like those movies did not come out that long ago. The Snyder Cut was not that long ago, and we're cycling through it again. And if you would have told me in 2025 after seeing the Snyder Cut that we were going to get another Wonder Woman and all of these new characters, I'd be like, yeah, right. DC is not going to be able to pull this off. But now it's cool to see it completely do a 360, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Did you have any other honorable mentions or favorite characters from the movie? Maybe a favorite scene or
Or how about the best cameo, Peacemaker?
so funny.
What was your reaction that it just happened out of the blue? Like I wasn't expecting him to appear like at all.
I I guess I really went into it not expect I didn't know what to expect. I did say though that this to me because Fantastic Four comes out in a couple weeks. And my
Next week, actually,
yeah, right, next week. Jeez, July is flying by. This is the big month that we've all been talking about, since the beginning of the year.
it's been super fantastic.
Yes. I personally think I've been saying that Superman is going to be a better movie than Fantastic Four. I am really excited for Fantastic Four, but I am very worried about that movie as well, which that could be a whole other discussion we'll do next week after we see it. But what were we? Oh my God, I totally just lost my train of thought. Cameos, yes. Peacemaker, I had no idea. I mean, I know the show's coming out next month, right? So like, he's prepping people. So very, very smart on his part to just drop it in there because it's definitely getting people excited about him again. Because it's been so long since Peacemaker season one,
Oh
It's
my
been a
God,
long
like
time.
2022.
Yeah, it was like COVID times. It felt like I remember watching that show like it was yesterday though, and just being enthralled with the intro and the dance they do. Uh,
Yeah.
just so James Gunn, so perfect. But I thought his cameo was obviously that was my favorite one. I mean, and it's just the camera pans and he's sitting there on the talk show and I don't know if you remember like the last thing he said because I just saw it a couple days ago again and he's like, "Yeah, those guys are jealous of me because I'm so jacked." And he's just like such a bro and just so funny and I can't wait to see them cross paths. That will be hilarious.
Oh, it's gonna
Um
be great.
yeah, I'm super excited. I just love the Peacemaker cast so much. I watched that trailer yesterday actually, and I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea what's about to happen in this season either. But I'm excited to see everybody kind of just come together. It's like I said, I keep saying this, but it's exciting. Like DC's, it almost feels like Marvel, like when we're talking about everybody crossing paths, like James Gunn is building this world where we're like excited to see Peacemaker with Superman together. We're excited to see Wonder Woman come in and all of these other characters and Supergirl. And it's just, there's so much potential. And those cameos do give it more excitement, even though it's not really about them. But Peacemaker's cameo was perfect. And Maxwell Lord as well. That was funny. The little, the
I
little
just love how he
tidbit.
trash talk about Lex Luthor.
I love that he just puts him in everything. Um, but yeah, I love the Peacemaker cameo. It definitely got me thinking about season two of the show because, like I said, such a long time. Honestly, probably need to revisit season one now because it's been a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah, so before we end this, we got to talk about like some of the things that happened in the past. And I think it's going to happen currently in James Gunn's DC universe. For one is Blue Beetle. We already talked about Peacemaker. Yeah, but yeah, let's talk. Yeah, for Blue Beetle, he's gonna have his animated show, but let's be honest here. Like, it has to be James Gunn's universe, not the DCEU, from that movie, because they talked about Batman and some of the other characters, but it just feels like just looking at it, it is James Gunn's. You
Yeah.
know,
And I liked the Blue Beetle movie. I thought that was really entertaining and it was really fun. And I love the family dynamic and I love the guy who played Blue Beetle. I was pleasantly surprised with that movie. I honestly went into it not really expecting a lot. And I think I saw an interview with him the other day because he's in that like Smurf movie. I think there's a
oh my
Smurfs
god,
movie coming out. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even, that flew by me. I was too distracted by superheroes. But I think they asked him about Blue Beetle, and I don't think he said much, but it definitely like alluding to something happening. But Blue Beetle would be cool. Not my first thought, honestly, thinking about entering it, but I mean, gosh, there's just endless possibilities with what DC's gonna do next, you know?
endless.
What did you think about Krypto?
Oh, what? Honestly, I just feel so connected, with my little girl, my Daisy.
Yeah. Oh, your dog's name is Dave. That's cute. Okay.
And she's so pretty.
Yeah. I knew Krypto was gonna be one of my favorite parts of this movie. I mean, when I saw that first trailer, oh my gosh, I know I have a dog too, and I'm just like so connected with my dog as well. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now James Gunn with the animals is just amazing. Like he with Rocket and everything in Guardians 3, like he just always does such a good job executing like animals and like their feelings and their emotions and the story behind Krypto with it actually being the dog they adopted, Ozu, I think. And they kind of used this dog as what Krypto was going to be and then CGI'd Krypto onto him. And I just love that. I think that's so cool. If I was a director and I had that like creative freedom to put my dog in as like the model of what Krypto's going to be, I would absolutely do it. So I like learning more about Krypto was actually James Gunn's dog, and I thought that was really, really fun. Yeah, I also really and I can't wait to see Krypto with Supergirl, right? Like that's gonna be even more hilarious because they just took it to the next level when he was just like playing with her at the end and like hitting her head into the ground and
I just thought it was more hilarious when he came at Lex Luthor and he just delivered the Hulk out of him. Just
that was one of the funniest scenes of the movie. And it was just, oh my God. And everyone was like screaming, like, oh my God. And Lex was just, oh my God. It was so funny that Krypto was the one that ends up like messing him up, but rightfully so, because he tortured Krypto, he stole him away from the Fortress of Solitude. And Krypto got his revenge. And I love that James Gunn did that because I hate people who hurt dogs and animals, okay? Like those are the worst kind of people in the world in my book, and Lex absolutely deserved that and more, and I love that James Gunn threw that in there because ooh, those people are the worst people on the planet. So I love that part. Um, what did you think about the Daily Planet crew?
oh, I thought the cast was perfect. Instead of hiring like the most expensive people, he just finds the right people, for the roles. Like the way how they got Jimmy Olsen, this guy, he was just perfect.
Oh,
I love Night Museum, and when I recognize him, I'm like, okay, all right, he's perfect for the role.
so perfect for that role, and his relationship with Eve was so funny as well, and just their texts and the files she sends over, and
Oh
just
my god.
so funny.
I was expecting to hear Lex Luthor, to say out loud, Mr. Smucker!
Yeah. Gosh, the Daily Planet squad was one of my favorite parts. Just being a journalist in my past and just writing and stuff and just seeing those little tidbits of that and that environment is just so stressful but so fun because those people really are your team. And I really love Lois. Rachel Brosnahan is so incredible. Such a perfect Lois. And I think that's actually what took me out of Man of Steel a little bit was the Amy Adams casting as Lois. Like I just did not feel that chemistry with her and Henry Cavill. I know we're like anybody could be Wonder Woman, anybody could be these characters, and I still stand by that. But Lois Lane does not have red hair. Like this is just I feel like
Thank you.
it took me I'm like, okay, is Superman gonna be a blonde next? Like, come on, there's some things we shouldn't meddle with. Lois Lane should be a brunette. Okay, maybe I'm a little biased because I am one as well. But I mean, it's just like I think of like Archie, you know, the Archie comics and like Betty and Veronica. I'm like, you couldn't switch their hair color. Like it just wouldn't work. Like you need her to be a brunette. It just, there's a whole thing with that. But I really love Lois Lane. Her and Clark's scenes, love scenes. Oh my God. Butterflies. The end scene where after everything's over and they float in the air and they're kissing and they just keep floating up. That is one of the most
Yep,
beautiful
it gives me
scenes.
the vibes of Christopher Reeves when he was, flying with Lois Lane up in the sky. Just that feeling and just like, wow, that's like very powerful. This scene after what they went through together, they just need each other.
Yeah, and you know what I also noticed too is like they were so kind to each other. Like throughout the whole, even when they didn't get along and they were like fighting in the interview and stuff, like it was never like this like bad relationship. Like they took space away from each other. Like it was very healthy. I know Superman had to go save the world, so he had other things to do, but like they always came back to each other and they were always stronger than before. And their chemistry was just incredible. And some of those scenes were just, they get me excited for what's to come, you know? And again, their chemistry was perfect. And I can imagine that's pretty hard to find, right? Like a Clark and a Lois, you gotta like make sure they have this chemistry nobody can even explain. You kind of just have to understand it when you see it and you kind of have to feel it. And man, everybody in the theater was just like hard eyes watching those scenes because they were just so cute, you know? But I love that. There was just so many parts of this movie that I enjoyed so much. I've seen it 3 times at this point. My cousin wants to go see it in 4DX. Have you seen a movie in 4DX?
Okay. I know there's 3D that hurts my eyes, but 40X, the last thing I want is to go on a ride to watch a movie.
Okay, see, I love that. I've seen a couple movies in 4DX. The first one I ever saw was on accident, and it was Eternals. And I took my dad, and they were the only tickets left on a Friday night. And we walk into the theater, and they look like roller coaster seats. And I'm like, oh my God. And he has this huge thing of popcorn, right? Because my dad's a big movie guy popcorn. And the seats, as soon as the movie starts, start shaking because it's Eternals. It's a superhero movie. They're flying, you know, and he just drops his whole bucket of popcorn on the floor. But I do want to, 4DX is, I don't like 3D either. That does hurt my eyes as well. But 4DX is kind of fun. And you can turn off some of the stuff. Like sometimes there's like water and you could turn that off and stuff like that. But I do kind of want to see it in 4DX because I want to feel the flying moments, you know. It's kind of fun.
Oh,
I saw Wicked in 4DX, so that was an experience. But yeah, I do think you're gonna go see it again. How many times have you seen it?
oh, I've seen it twice.
It gets better, I think, even the second.
I have to see it again. I just love watching this movie.
Oh yeah. This is how we're both gonna be probably with Fantastic Four 2 next week. Like I'm at least gonna see that a couple times. I feel like they gave away a lot though in the trailers already. I'm kind of nervous about
Oh, I feel like not too much, but I know we'll see more.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yes, Ben Grimm. I think he's gonna steal the show, honestly. He's already predicting gonna be my favorite character for sure. Do you got any other comments about Superman before we end this review?
all I can say is this is the best DC movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I would put it up there. Honestly, yeah. I trying to think of what could compete with it, and I do love the Snyder Cut. Don't get me wrong, that was very epic. But this one just leaves us off with feelings of hope for the future, for mankind. I think the world really needed the Superman right now just because he's kind. And at the end of the day, that's something that everybody's capable of, no matter where they come from, their past, what kind of day they're having. Kindness is a choice, and I think Superman showed us that, even though he's this big, brawny guy who can literally get his way no matter what circumstance comes at him, he still chooses to act with kindness to everybody around him. And I think that's the message here, you know?
Just remember, hope.
Hope. Exactly. Which, ironically, another favorite series, Star Wars, you know, that's all I think of when I hear that word. But thanks so much, Nick, for joining me, you guys. We will probably be doing a review of Fantastic Four as well, I'm hoping, if you agree to, because that would be a fun time to wrap up the July circuit of movies, you know?
Well, anything, for being a Pedro Pascal fan.
I'm still a little nervous about the stretching. I don't know how I feel. In the trailers that I've seen, I'm like, oh, I don't know, but we'll see how they do it. I have faith because it's Pedro Pascal and he can really
At
keep.
least he at least do more than John Krasinski did at Doctor Strange.
That was so cool. I'm still mad about that. That was the quickest cameo. Like, they've introduced the most epic Illuminati crew ever, and it's just gone. But it was still fun. It was cool to see, even though as much as it hurt them. Because he got shredded, right? Reed got like shredded like string cheese, pretty much.
Yeah, he did.
It was not pretty. We don't talk about that. Anyways, thanks so much for joining me, Nick. You guys can find Nick on MCU and News on Instagram or Nick the Drawer. And we'll see you next time.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Super fantastic.